Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with Axel. How are you doing today?
Hey guys, Axel here. What's up?
And we're about to talk about some Legend of Zelda. Alright, so we're going to talk about some things that we'd like to see from the Legend of Zelda franchise. Some future games and... What are you doing?
I just want to say shout out to Prince of Production.
You aren't even in this video.
Oh, my bad. I'm not?
No.
I'm not in the script?
No, you're not.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay. Keep going. What's up, Axel? What's up?
What's up?
Anyways, before I was really interrupted, Axel and I are going to be talking about Legend of Zelda. Some of the games that we want to see from the series, just the world of Legend of Zelda. There's so much to talk about. And Axel, I'm going to let you kick it off, because I know you got a lot to say about Legend of Zelda.
Okay, so I'm going to go straight into the comment I left you guys. That's the game I really want to see the most. But for any of y'all who follow the Zelda timeline, so y'all say it's bullshit, y'all agree, whatever the case is, there's a period that there was no hero. Like, Link was never born. And that led to the events of Wind Waker. And I really want to see how they got to flood the whole fucking planet. Like, how the fuck did that just happen?
So you want to see how Ganondorf won?
Yeah, well, he lost because, he won but lost at the same time. The planet was flooded to prevent him from winning.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's why he don't own the planet. That's why you get to stop him in the next generation. I want to see how they got to that situation where they had to flood the planet. So,
okay.
I really want to play as Zelda. A Zelda standalone game.
I have been asking for that for so long. I want to play as Zelda in a game. I actually wouldn't mind playing as Ganondorf either, but I'll get into that later. I would love to play as Zelda in a game simply because I want to try like something different. I feel like they have a trinity going on, but you only get to see it from Link's point of view, you know? So I would like to see how the story plays from Zelda's point of view. Maybe Zelda is the one who ends up being the hero or just helps Link be the hero. And I think that would be pretty awesome to play as and to see.
I definitely want to see that, but where I'm trying to go with this is, instead of, like, Link's not there at all. Like, he's completely out of the picture.
Oh, he's just gone.
Because it's the era without a hero. Link was never born in that era.
Oh, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. I've been thinking of how you can get a game like that, but I can kind of see that.
That already exists in the timeline, so why not make a game? And I really want to...
But see, in that game, Ganondorf will still be the enemy, though, right?
Yes.
But he wouldn't be defeated. They wouldn't actually defeat him.
Yeah, you would be watching the king lose his army to Ganondorf, and the whole world going to shit. And you play Zelda, and essentially you play her going through the dungeon instead of Link, trying to find a way to stop Ganondorf. And ultimately you have to flood the planet, which is victory but a loss at the same time. So it's like
But see, that goes against like the traditional Legend of Zelda feel, because usually, you have Link and he beats Ganondorf and he's like the hero. He always beats the bad guy. But if you go this route, then they don't actually beat Ganondorf. It's kind of like a lose-lose.
Yes, it's one of those. I forget the term for it. The metal sweet, or I forget what it's called, but like where he wins, but at the same time you're like, well,
yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, he doesn't get his way.
Yeah, and that's the whole goal of the game, is to stop Ganondorf from getting his way, which we already know occur.
A great way they can actually gap the timeline where Ganon does win.
Yeah.
And there's no Link, right? What if there's a hero who doesn't really defeat Ganon, just holds him back enough for the next hero, and that's where they can gap in Linkle. Linkle can be the character that doesn't defeat Ganondorf, just follows his plans.
Well, my point here...
So he's still alive and kicking.
So they just make her like the weak Link. No pun intended.
No, not so much of a weak Link, but you have to remember there's characters that, that can follow the plans and still not defeat the enemy. So she could be the character that in between links creates the, she holds him off just enough for Link to be born again, I guess, or resurrected, whatever the fuck you want to say, and defeat him.
But here's where I'm trying to... My problem is with that is the timeline already exists where Ganon... where Link wasn't there to stop him. And I want to see that.
Oh, okay, I see. I thought you were saying, you guys were talking about, like, how can that
Yeah,
So
that could be a game too. But I want to see what happened to make the Wind Waker happen.
Oh, okay. Okay, my bad. I wasn't even listening. I feel stupid now, so I'm gonna leave.
You know what would be cool though, if you go that route, Tyler, is if you play a game as Ganondorf, right? Where you're playing as Ganondorf and you defeat Link, right?
Yeah.
And do you have that whole time where they're trying to stop Ganondorf, and so you're going against Zelda and Hyrule and the army and whatnot to try to take over Hyrule, and in the end they end up flooding the world to stop you.
Yeah, but in Wind Waker, the king, he states there's never a Link in that timeline. And that's because the Link went back in time Zelda sent Link back in time, so new Link was never born. So that era, there's no Link, and that's why they had to flood the world to stop Ganon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a lot they can do with that time skip right there.
I like the press, there's a lot of, story, and it's like a big gap, the world's flooded.
Now, do you think they'll end up doing a game for that kind of, lost space in the timeline?
Yeah, that's what I really want, and I want it to be Zelda standalone.
Okay.
And
now, how do you feel about Linkle?
That actually threw me off. I was not, because she is technically a fan-made character, so they caught me.
But they're writing her in as she's Link. I mean, there's nothing that really says that Link can't be a female.
Yeah, I know.
It is a reincarnation.
Link as a female. And she's a fan-created character as Link the female. She's in fan fictions, and they randomly took her, made her a thing.
Now, I want to see her get her own game, and I'll be kind of curious to see, if she's a female, would Ganondorf be a female and, Zelda be a male or something? I don't know. That's kind of strange.
That would be a nice twist. Everyone's gender swap.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think Ganondorf as a female would be pretty cool, but you can't really have that because isn't his whole story that he is the first male born to the Gerudos?
Well, you could flip, a parallel universe where the Gerudos are all males and he's the first female.
But I don't think they're going... I don't think they're going parallel universe thing. I think they just have it where it just happened to be a Link that was born a girl.
Some of the stories don't even follow the Gerudos in the lore, so they can easily just cut them out for that game.
When you play Link Between Worlds, technically, you have Link and then you have Ravio, who are from different worlds. They never said multiverse, but we know that in that multiverse or in that world, Link's counterpart, which is Ravio, was coward. So there could be multiverse in which maybe Zelda's still a girl and maybe Ganon is still a guy, but Link can still be a female, or vice versa. I'm sure there's a multiverse where you have Link and Zelda are still their same gender, or I'm sorry, Ganon and Link are still the same gender, and maybe Zelda's a male.
Yeah, he's probably the king of Hyrule.
We're gonna have a lot of games remade multiverse.
Yeah. Well, that's basically how the Pokemon games are, but that's for another discussion.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think Linkle was really nice. Like I said, I want to play a game where I get to play as either Ganondorf or I play as Zelda, but I think a game where I play as Linkle would definitely be a different twist to the franchise, and I'll be kind of cool with that. And the fact that she doesn't really use a sword. I mean, she has those crossbows, so that's kind of, it's different.
Yeah. I mean, I know primarily she had the crossbow, so she have a different weapon for the game. But you only see Link with a crossbow once, and you never see him with two. So it's she has different weapons, so I want to see what weapons they'll give her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely... I think she's become a fan favorite, and she's not even in a game yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, have you played Hyrule Warriors?
Yeah, I beat Hyrule Warriors really. I love the game.
Oh, I loved it too. I loved it until they kind of fucked us over with that DLC with Tingle.
I actually like Tingle a lot.
Oh my god, did you really?
Yeah.
John, he said he likes Tingle. I couldn't stand Tingle. And
so demented because when you actually learn about his character, he actually has a high IQ, and as the Tingle brothers, some of them aren't even his brothers. He's straight up brainwashed and stuff. He's a scary character when you look into his lore.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was cool how you got to play as the other races. I mean, that's basically what I've been asking for. I'm like, you have this whole world of Legend of Zelda, but you're stuck playing with Link.
Yeah.
And Majora's Mask, you put on the mask and you get to be some of the other races, which is cool. I mean, it's kind of an exception. And you have Hyrule Warriors where you get to actually play as these characters. Like, you play as, Gerudos and...
Yeah.
Not Gerudos. That's actually the one race you don't play as. You play as the Gorons and you play as Zora. And I think that's awesome. I want to have a Zelda game where you get to play as more. And if they have to not change the story, but do it from a different perspective, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm even cool with them going back and like redoing some of the old games, but you play from a different point of view.
Well, if you ever play any of the Samurai Warriors, the Dynasty Warriors, they have the game, they have the Stream Legends, which takes place someone else's point of view. Then they have the sequel, which is back to the main character. And then Stream Legends with the new character's point of view. And then back to the sequel with the main character's point of view again. They always do that. So, I feel like Hyrule Warriors 2, we're going to go back to Link. Hyrule Warriors 2 Stream Legends, we're going to get someone else's story. And then we go...
Okay. So you think this was just like to test the waters, kind of, and see how the fans would react to a game like this?
Yes. And because they're following the same formula of the Samurai Warrior games, which I'm a huge fan of. So I already know the whole formula, so I'm actually really excited. I think we're probably going to get 3 Hyrule Warriors games in total. That's my prediction. I can't really base this off of, besides the fact that most of those games go up to 3.
Because I can see a Zelda game where if you're playing a Zelda where you command the army, like you kind of do in Hyrule Warriors, how you have your knights, your army, and your soldiers fighting for you and stuff. I can kind of see that to where there's a war in Hyrule going on. Maybe Ganondorf has his people, he has some kind of army, and you have Zelda, and you play as Zelda, but you also have your people there. And Hyrule Warriors, I think when they did Hyrule Warriors, it kind of opened up a lot of doors for things that they could do in the future when it comes to actual Zelda games.
Well, definitely. And that it's really weird because they collab with the Konami and the Warrior games, and you actually see the Warriors collabing a lot more than I do see Zelda. Because not too long ago we got Pokemon Conquest where they collabed with Pokemon, and now they're with Legend of Zelda. I'm actually interested to see what follows. But as far as Legend of Zelda goes, they've opened up several doors in the open world, and honestly, have you seen the E3 trailer for the Legend of Zelda open world game?
Yeah, I have seen that. Yes.
So I feel like Hyrule Warriors is to get us used to their models 3D more detailed for that game.
I'm so excited for that game.
Have you ever?
I'm excited, but they keep pushing it back, so I kind of lose a little bit of interest. I mean, it's always Zelda. I'm gonna play it regardless. It's just the more they push it back, the less excited I get.
Yeah, because you're like, so far away. But
no, I'm just hoping that with all this,
deliver. Because so far, majority.
That's my biggest concern.
I think delivered, the far majority.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they bring to the table. I mean, it's Legend of Zelda, so regardless, most likely it'll be good. But I just hope that it lives up to the hype that they're bringing with it.
Yeah.
Now, are you excited for Hyrule Warriors 2? The one for DS? Do you have a DS?
A 3DS now.
They have a new one coming out. That's the one with Linkle in it, and they have the Skull Kid, right? They're trying to have Majora's Mask.
Skull Kid's back.
Yeah, we were so mad, and it makes sense now because we were wondering why they did not put the Majora's Mask in Hyrule Warriors 1 when the Majora's remake came out, but we see now that they kind of put it in the second one. Although I still think it would have been better to have the Skull Kid as a DLC character instead of Tingle, because the game had just come out, Majora's Mask.
Honestly, I think they should have saved Skull Kid a little bit longer, because the Extreme Legends is going to go through Linkle's story, so I think they should use them as a point to kick off their next game to do make another one.
Yeah, they could do that. Well, his character's so unique that they could bring him, but they can put him in so much more. I mean, his character's very unique. It doesn't even have to be him with the mask. They can give somebody else the mask, because it's not the Skull Kid, it's the Majora's Mask that kind of makes him stand out. Now, the Skull Kid is a reoccurring character. He's pretty cool, but it is the Majora's Mask, so it could easily be a Link that wears it. You have an evil Link, or it can be a Ganondorf that gets it. On top of the Triforce of Power. I mean, they could do a lot of different things with that mask.
They definitely could. And we've seen plenty of new characters as well. They could easily make a brand new character for it.
So what's one other than a standalone Zelda game, what's one Zelda game that you're like dying to see, like concept wise?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm dying for it, but I do like the idea. Have you seen the Fable games? How they had that Fable Heroes kind of thing.
Yeah, I've seen those.
I'm not a big idea for the Fable Heroes, but I'd like to see a Zelda game that way, where you can use Ganondorf to hit troops out.
Okay, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
This idea really came to me after I played Hyrule Warriors, where player one plays the king or Zelda or something like that.
Okay.
And they control the Hyrule army. Maybe 3 players could fight for the Hyrule army, and the 4th player come in as Ganondorf and try to destroy them. Try to get.
What's the first thing I think of when you say that? Fire Emblem. Have you ever played those games? Fire Emblem games?
Yeah, I played the Fire Emblem games.
Yeah, that's the first thing I think of is like, you have like Zelda, and you have like all your army and your knights and stuff. It's like the first thing that comes to mind.
But yeah, that would actually be a cool crossover.
I think that would be a cool crossover. I don't see them ever doing a crossover like that, but it would be kind of fun to play, especially for the fans who like that style of gameplay. And I think it'll be a very easy crossover to do, because in the traditional Fire Emblem games and stuff, if your leader dies, you lose. So if Zelda is your leader in the campaign and she dies, then it only makes sense that you lose.
Zelda could be of course leader, and Link could be your character. And when those 2 die, you lose. So you can for neither of them die because they both, they possess the Triforce.
Yeah, and then you use all of them, and then you can recruit people like all the other characters in the game. You can recruit them, and they join your army, and they help fight Ganondorf, who is the main villain. That would be a cool crossover.
That would be. Again, I do doubt it as well. Like, it's not really likely for them to collab with themselves, but I'd definitely like to see it.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything else you'd like to really touch on, like, when it comes to the whole Legend of Zelda gameplay, games, and future games, and all that jazz?
Honestly, I would really like for the return of Vati.
Why?
I really like Vati. He's one of my favorite. He's the second most recurring villain. He is like a Ganondorf fanboy. At the same time, he wants to surpass Ganondorf, and it's nice to see him trying to save Ganondorf at the same time trying to pass him. He's very interesting in that aspect. He did kind of make Dark Link mainstream. So
if you could pitch to Nintendo how to bring him back, what would you say?
Well, honestly, there's many ways to go around, because they still have, like, their plot storyline wise, they still have plenty of openings, and he's come before Ocarina of Time, so that means he has potential to end up in any storyline, and we haven't seen him in the storyline Ganondorf one, so I would really like to see him appear in that storyline.
Okay.
I would definitely.
Okay, you see him you see him as a main villain, like the main villain of the story?
Well, sometimes he's been main villain, sometimes he was secondary next to Ganondorf. But
what's what I'm saying, like, if he were to come back, would you see him as a main villain, or would you see it more like he actually brings Ganondorf back, and then Ganondorf is the main villain, so he's kind of like a stepping stool to the main guy?
I actually prefer him as the main villain, but I do love my Ganondorf. If going by logically, if Ganondorf won, Link stopped him, Vati would come to bring Ganondorf back out, from a logical standpoint.
That would actually be interesting. Where Ganondorf loses and then he makes an appearance to bring him back.
Because the very first Legend of Zelda game, it could be a sequel to that, where he brings him back. Or, well, I guess a sequel to the second one.
Oh, speaking of games, what's your favorite? Out of all the Legend of Zelda games, which one's your favorite?
I guess I'm a little biased in this opinion, but I would say Ocarina of Time, because the first one I've ever played, and I got invested in the story so much.
Mine was Twilight Princess.
I love Twilight Princess, but I have my issues about it.
What don't you like about it? I know John gives a list of things he doesn't like about it. What don't you like about it?
I can go on, but there's certain parts that bug me more or less. I think one of my pet peeves is, well, give or take, is the way they handle Zelda. Like, I did not like the Zelda in that game.
Mm-hmm.
especially.
Yeah, I think the main focus was definitely on Midna rather than Zelda.
And her boss fight was a huge disappointment. Like, they should not have done that.
I liked it. It was one of the. I actually got it for the GameCube. It was
I
one
like
of
the
my.
idea of making Zelda a monster, but
Uh-huh.
they handle it so poorly, and no one gave a shit about her. It was all about Minda, so.
Yeah, they definitely focused on Midna a lot. Do you see Midna coming back? Maybe in a different game, a future game.
Because they left her in the Twilight World, so.
Yeah, but they did the same thing to Ganondorf though.
Yeah, but Ganondorf has reasons to come back. She don't. Everything's solved. She had a happy end, so why ruin that? Bring her back.
That's true. I personally I'd like to see her again, but I like to see her in her princess form. You know, her actual.
But yeah,
I can't call it a human form because she ain't really human.
it's called,
But I want to see her like in that form, because the whole game you saw her as Midna, and she was some cursed imp. So I think it would be kind of cool to see some kind of game either where you go to the Twilight Realm and you have a whole adventure there, or something happens and she comes back here. I think if they went to the Twilight Realm, it will be a very interesting game. I feel like they can do a lot with that because it's like an entire like undiscovered world because they barely showed it.
you know, definitely, like, the only levels we really got in there was the invasion on Zant, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it would be kind of cool if something's happening in her world and she calls for Link and be like, hey, can you help me? And Link goes there and helps save the Twilight Realm. That would be kind of cool to play.
But there's something. I take back what I'm saying, don't want to see it at all. I want to see alternate universe with the same story, but take place in her world instead of your world.
Oh, that would be fun.
I think.
I don't know. I feel like after Link Between Worlds, they kind of opened that up because I know we know they had different like timelines and different stuff like that, but this is like kind of like that's kind of like a multiverse, right?
Yeah, it's definitely.
Would you call that a multiverse, John?
What is it?
Would you call like Link Between Worlds a different multiverse?
No, that was totally multiverse. That was Legend of Zelda. That was like, and Link Between Worlds was beautiful to me because you know how much I like dwelling with multiverses in video games, and that was Nintendo's way of showing us that there's other universes out there with the same equivalent of the heroes that we have, but with different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, multiverses deal with choices. Life is about choices. Choices you make affect the people around you. So obviously, our Link is courageous, brave, while Ravio, which is their version of Link, he's a coward and he prefers to be, you know, a salesman or whatever. And I think that's amazing.
That's why I kind of feel like the Zelda from Hyrule Warriors is, because like traditionally you see Zelda like in a dress, using magic, and you see this one who has a sword, front lines, she's a fighter.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, the thing is, you also have to remember that in Hyrule Warriors, you can't really count it because it's not part of the franchise.
I know. But I do like that version of Zelda a lot.
I do want them to dwell more into multiverses in the future.
I definitely think it's a multiverse issue because as it was only one universe, we already knew previously there were multiple timelines. But this time we see an outcome where it's someone brand new, which is a huge change. And going into Hyrule Warriors, I know it's not the main story, but now they throw in Link right afterwards. So that's a Link from another universe. So I really feel like they're going to actually start playing off that real soon.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that multiverse seems to be the number one thing that a lot of anime, video games, and comic books are, you know, you have today that are kind of like going into. And for Legend of Zelda game, that'll be big because you can introduce Link as a villain in another multiverse.
Yeah.
Imagine a multiverse where he's kind of like a Gerudo, you know?
Yeah.
Just like Ganon. But it's Link. It's Link's incarnation in that multiverse. And then you can actually have, which we never had, the closest to this we ever had was Twilight Princess, and it's the boss fight between Link and Ganon, where they have that sword fight.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a little bit disappointing. Obviously, Twilight Princess is my least favorite game. It's the weakest one of the franchise, in my opinion, personally. But the boss fight was the coolest one, even though it was really easy. If they introduce Link as a Gerudo, or just Link as a villain, like Fierce City Link or something like that as a villain, they can very easily have like a badass sword fight between our Link and that Link.
No, that would be fun. Sword fight. I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of room for a Dark Link, to be honest.
I think there's definitely because
that is true. John just said that they have the Fierce Deity Link too, and we never found out how that worked, where that came from, or anything.
Deity Link's amazing.
Yeah, they could do a whole story around that.
I'm actually really surprised they haven't touched on them since Majora's. They've barely even seen anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, Tyler. I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Yeah. We're going strong for like almost 30 minutes now. So is there any last minute words you want to say before we get off of this discussion?
Well, Nintendo, you hear us now. Make these games.
I think that's something everybody wants to say. Well, thank you, Tyler. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this discussion. Guys, we will have a part 2 on Tyler's channel. Link will be down in the description below, so be sure to go check that out. Yeah, Tyler, thanks for being here, man. We're going to have another... Like I said, we don't have enough time to keep going on and on. I mean, there's so much to talk about when it comes to Legend of Zelda.
It definitely is. Like,
Zelda
has, like we've been saying, it's building on itself to be bigger right now, so it's too much to talk.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, guys, go check out part 2 on his channel. We're going to be talking about Super Smash Brothers and what have you. So, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for being here, Tyler.
No problem. It was fun.